All the climate change reports are saying India needs to take urgent steps to make its building disaster proof or climate resilient. Yes, still in 21st century, we are struggling to make our buildings disaster proof or climate resilient. Can you imagine that even before 800 years ago, we had a structure that could withstand with earthquake? Yes, Ramappa Temple is such an example of architectural marvelance. Hi all, welcome to Academy of Civil Service. I am Ishala. Today we will discuss regarding Ramappa Temple, which was added into the UNESCO's list of World Heritage Sites. We will discuss the topic from prelims perspective as well as mains perspective. The Ramappa Temple, it is located in Palampet village in Telangana, and it became 39th site from India to be added into the UNESCO's list of World Heritage Site. And this temple, which is a 13th century structure, it was built in the interest of the Rechrela Senapati Rudraya, who was general of Kakatiya king Ganapati Deva. Do you know one of the speciality of this temple that starts from the name itself? We all know that generally temples are named based on the king who has commissioned it or on the basis of the deity who is worshipped there. But this temple, that is Ramappa Temple, it is named based on the architect Ramappa. And it is said that perhaps this is only one temple in India that is named based on the architect who has built this temple. Yes, this is one of the speciality of the Ramappa Temple. And do you think this is the only reason for getting World Heritage Site tag for Ramappa Temple? Definitely not. There are many more techniques that makes this temple even an inspiration today. Before going into the technique of this temple construction, we will discuss regarding the architecture of this temple. This temple, which is the first site from Telangana that is added into the UNESCO World Heritage Site, said to be built in the Trikuta style of architecture. That means there is a three temple in the main temple complex with the star-shaped platform that hosting the main temple, which all are the material that is used for the construction of the temple. See, the lower part of the temple that is made using red sandstone, and the flooring is done using the granite, and the pillars that is done using the basalt rock, and the top you can see white gopuram that is made up of using the light bricks or the floating bricks. What is meant by floating bricks? Yes, this is one of the characteristics of the construction that makes this temple unique that we will discuss. There are basically two chief features that makes the temple one of the temple which is having outstanding universal value. One is sandbox technique and another is usage of the floating bricks. What is meant by sandbox technique? See, the sandbox technique means filling up the pit that we have made for making the foundation with certain mixtures. The mixtures of the sand lime, jaggery and karakoya that will be used to fill the pit that we have made for laying the foundation. Why we are using this mixture? See, it is said that filling up the pit with this mixture that strengthens the ground, that strengthens the foundation of the building. Yes, because of this sandbox technique, even though there was an earthquake in 17th century that hit the same area, this Ramappa temple could withstand with that earthquake. There was very less damage to the structures of this Ramappa temple compared to the other structures in the nearby region. Yes, this is one of the chief characteristics of the Ramappa temple that made one of the structure that is having outstanding universal value. Like the sandbox technique, another chief characteristics that makes this temple unique is the usage of the floating bricks. What is meant by floating bricks? How it was used in the construction of the Ramappa temple. See, if you are looking into the top structure of the temple, that is three-storied Shikhara or Vimana of the temple, it is made up of using the light bricks. What is meant by light bricks? If you are picking up the brick material that is used in the construction of the Shikhara of the temple, and if you are putting that brick piece on a glass of water, then it is said that this brick material will float on that water, because this brick is having very light weight compared to the normal brick that we use for the construction of the building. So what is the advantage of using the light bricks for the construction of the temple, or what is the advantage of using the light bricks for the construction of the top structure of the temple? See, if we are using the light structures or the brick that is having light weight, then it will not burden the foundation of the temple. The ground of the temple will not be burdened by the top material. So this also adds strength to the building. Yes, these two techniques, that is sandbox technique and the usage of the floating brick, that shows the architectural marvelance that had existed in medieval India. Yes, don't you think that these two techniques is capable of inspiring us till today? Yes, that is why Ramappa temple was added into the UNESCO's list of World Heritage Site. Apart from these two techniques, that is sandbox technique and usage of the floating brick, you can also see the beautiful dancing sculptures on the walls of Ramappa temple. Do you know that the sculpture that is carved on this temple, that is used for reviving an ancient dance form that is prospered during the Kakatiya dynasty, that is Perini Shivatandavam. That means the dance guru Nadaraja Ramakrishna, he has used these sculptures that is carved on the walls of the temple to revive the Perini Shivatandavam. Perini Shivatandavam, it is an ancient form of dance that is originated and prospered during the Kakatiya dynasty. These dancing sculptures that is carved on the walls of the temple that enable this person to revive this ancient dance form. Yes, because of all these characteristics, this temple became the 39th site from India to be inscribed in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. It is also known by another name, that is Kakatiya Rudreshwara temple, as the chief deity that is worshipped in this temple is Lord Shiva. Thus, these are the basic characteristics of the temple that made the temple unique medieval structure. Now, we will discuss this topic from prelims perspective as well as from mains perspective. Let us look into the question. Which among the following temples in India have World Heritage Site tag? Rudreshwara temple, Mahabodhi temple, Khajuraho temple, Puri Jagannath temple. Select the correct statement from the options given below. Now we will look into the answer. The Rudreshwara temple we have already discussed just now, that is having UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. Thus you can eliminate option B. What about other temples? The Mahabodhi temple, the Khajuraho temple and the Puri Jagannath temple. The Mahabodhi temple and Khajuraho temple, which is located in Bihar and Madhya Pradesh respectively, they are having UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. And Puri Jagannath temple, it is not having UNESCO World Heritage Site tag. Thus, here the correct answer is option A, 1, 2 and 3 only. Even though we have not discussed all the UNESCO World Heritage Site in this session, why I have asked that question? See students, this year we have got 2 locations inscribed into the UNESCO World Heritage Site list. Thus now we are having 40 sites from India inscribed into the UNESCO World Heritage Site list. Thus we should have a clear clarity on the cultural site, the 32 cultural sites, the 7 natural sites, 1 mixed site that is in the UNESCO World Heritage Site. Yes, sometimes we have to go beyond the topic. That is why I have put a question, I have framed a question like this. Now we will look into the same topic from mains perspective. Is there anything that we can use in the mains answers? Yes, definitely. Here is the model question. Recently, Telangana's Ramappa temple was declared as UNESCO World Heritage Site. Describe how the architectural design of temple give insight into the present day planning. Here the question is 10-mark question. You have to just write 150 words. I think now all of you are having content for writing in more than 150 words. But here we have to adhere into the word limit. Thus, in the introduction, you can just briefly write the characteristics of the Ramappa temple, its location, Kakatiya dynasty, its time period, the chief deity that is worshipped in the temple. After the introduction, you can directly go into the content. We all know that there are 2 characteristics that makes the temple unique, that inspires us till today. That is, 1, the sandbox technique, the another, the usage of the floating bricks. Thus, you can describe about these techniques and how this technique made the temple earthquake resistant. After that, we have to conclude this answer. How can we positively conclude this answer? You can say that this technique that is used in the medieval architecture that still inspires us in building the modern architecture. Yes, in history, even though history is the story of the past, if you can link the conclusion with the present, then your answer will become unique. Yes, we have analyzed the topic from prelims perspective as well as from mains perspective. I hope all of you have got some insight into the characteristics of the Ramappa temple, and thank you for watching the video.